It was the scariest thing I've ever done in my life. And honestly, it still is the scariest thing I will ever do in my life. But after a few attempts, it was the funnest thing ever. When I get injured, I feel like I learn so much more. I get to start back from ground one. I don't go back to ground one, I get to start back from ground one. The biggest thing is being positive to yourself. Do not beat yourself up. Honestly, you're gonna manifest it to be real. Like, it's gonna happen if you keep talking to yourself positively.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Mindset Lounge with Morgan. I'm your host, Morgan Eldred, and I am so grateful that you are here. Today, I'm joined by Desi Johnson. She is an incredible human being and an incredible athlete. She's chasing her dream of competing at the Olympics as a bobsleigh athlete. Her journey is a reminder that setbacks don't have to stop you. They can be turned into opportunities if you have the right mindset. In this episode, you'll learn why patience and trusting the process is essential in high-level sport, how Desi reframed her injuries and challenges into fuel, and why enjoying what you do will always be the number one driver of success. This is a really fun and exciting episode. Desi has some awesome stories about the bobsleigh journey. She also has some really incredible insight into overcoming injuries, and I really hope you get a lot from this episode, so enjoy. You've had more surgeries and injuries than most young athletes could handle.
Yeah.
But here you are sledding down an ice track going over 100 kilometers an hour. What has made you keep going when it feels like everything has been telling you to stop?
Yeah, so I've been injured since I first started doing sport. I have been competing in sport in athletics since I was 9. Been injured basically ever since. I've had, when I first started, I had Sever's disease in my foot. Then I had hamstring tendinopathy as a 12-year-old. I then had this foot issue that's still a foot issue now, stress fracture in my navicular. Went on to fractured backs, to dislocated knee, to a shoulder surgery. One of my major injuries, that was my fractured back. I was competing in athletics, and I first off wanted to do 100 sprinting because I just absolutely love sprinting. I love short and fast stuff. It's fun. It's great. And I just love athletics. And I was doing that and my foot just was not giving me a break. And I decided to jump over to heptathlons, which is 7 events, which is way more. Basically I was doing that and I ended up becoming first in Australia, and I was pretty good worldwide, and I was going on to compete. I was going to qualify for World Juniors. All year I was putting up with this back pain, and this was during school as well. I was dedicating a lot of time to sport. I was before school, after school, and even during school I was dieting, and people were like, what are you doing? Why are you dieting? And I was like, I've got this massive goal. I want to make World Juniors. At the end of the year, I think it was a week before schoolies, I had scans done on my back. Yeah, I had a stress fracture in my L4 on my right side and a stress reaction on my left side, which was pretty major because there's not much you can really do except for stop. And that's something that no one's ever told me to do. Even through my foot injuries and stuff, it was I was still going, I was still doing things. I had to just lie down and try and rest as much as I could. I think that was a pivotal moment for me. I honestly turned into a different person. I decided to go, maybe sport isn't for me. I just took too much time off, and it sort of, I look back at it and I'm I can't believe I went down this big hole of I just wanted to give up. And I think that's when I sort of went, that wasn't me. I was just so unhappy at the time. I was doing things that I never would have done. I wasn't doing any exercise. I wasn't eating good or anything. And I was just so unhappy. And I think that's when I realized no, sport is for me. And I want to do this no matter how hard it is, no matter what it's going to take. I'm going to get back there. I'm going to sprint. I'm going to do something because I know that the end goal is what I want. And I want to be amazing at sport somehow. And I'm not going to let this stop me. So yeah. Yeah,
epic. I mean, to go through that as a 17-year-old, that's quite hectic. That's what adults 30-year-olds go through when they've had a bit of a career and then they have the injury and then they sort of go through the slump. So take me into those moments when you were like, shit, I may not be able to do any sport ever again. Was it a identity crisis?
Yeah, I think it was an identity crisis because I had committed so much into sport. Even during school, the only thing I thought about was sport. Like I had track and field as a subject in school. And yeah, training before school, after school, during school, I was doing all my events because obviously I had 7 events to compete for. I also struggled, well, not struggled, but I had to deal with weight as well because I'm such a tall and muscular person and I always have been. With sprinting, I obviously had to lean down and stuff like that as well. So I was like macro dieting during school as well. So I committed like a lot to my sport and a lot to that. And that's all I sort of was known. It was sort of my identity was sport. And everyone knew me as an athlete and stuff. So as soon as I had like a break, it was like, oh, like maybe a sport isn't for me. Maybe I can just do what everyone else is doing. Maybe I can go and have fun and stuff like that and socialize because I never really got to socialize or go to parties or anything like that. But I think I just took it way too far. And I look back at it and it actually makes me upset because I wasn't a happy person at that point in time. And I think, yeah, it was a big identity crisis, especially for a 17-year-old. I've experienced quite a lot before my 20s to go through that. But yeah, I guess I reached that point where I was like, who am I? Like, obviously, like I wasn't the person that I wanted to be or, felt good being. And yeah, and then that's when my mindset changed again. I was like, no, this is not Desi. And like everyone around me could see as well, like my parents and everything. They're like, you're not smiling like you used to, like you're not happy and stuff. And yeah, so.
You said there that when it got taken away from you, you felt like, okay, I can go and have some fun. Do you think that when you were before the injury, did you feel like you ever had FOMO? Did you feel like you were missing out as a kid?
Yeah, in some time, like sometimes I did, definitely. I feel like I didn't have like a friend group. I felt like I was also like always like sort of just that person who floated, like a floater in school. Like I had friends, but I didn't have like a social group because I never really got to hang out with a lot of people or go to parties or like have fun because I was always like training and everything. And I just dedicated myself to that. And I think that's one of the things that sort of I was like missing out on. I felt a little bit lonely, especially doing such an individual sport too. Like obviously I had my family and I had my close friends and my coach and stuff around me, but I was dedicating everything to the sport. So I definitely felt lonely in that aspect. And I did feel like I was missing out on a lot of things. So when I had the opportunity to do it, I did it. Yeah.
Two vast contrasts, and it's
Yeah.
sort of like instead of easing you into one or the other, it was just like a halt, like a big just like moment where you went from one to the other, which I guess now you could probably look back and think like, okay, I needed both to find hopefully some sort of balance. Where did the resilience come from as a kid though? Like, were you just really competitive? Did you have a lot of self-belief or like a lot of self-doubt?
I think I had a lot of self-belief. I was so confident as a kid. Like I just enjoyed life. I was always smiling when I was a kid and I just loved doing like everything. I just wanted to do everything. So I wanted to do every sport. I just wanted to enjoy things. And as soon as they put me out on the track, I was like, yeah, I love this. And like everyone could see I just like lit up. And yeah, I think I was just a very happy kid and just loved doing things. And I love being vocal. I always knew that I was going to do something that, I could speak to people or, be a presence in life because as a kid, I was always up there, singing or performing or doing things or whatever, like, because, yeah, that's just who I was. So
That's epic.
yeah.
It's cool because, so many kids have this dream of like, I want to go to the Olympics, I want to do these things, but majority of people don't follow through with it.
Yeah.
So it's cool to see that you actually committed. What was were your parents quite supportive of that? What was like the dynamic there? Did you have to sort of say to them, this is what I want? Or were they pretty, not pushy, but were they helping you along that way?
Yeah, they've always been really supportive of my dreams. Like, I think, yeah, ever since I was younger, like I've always wanted, my biggest goal in life is always to be at the Olympics and to make the Olympics. It's just been my biggest goal. Haven't made it yet. So still a massive goal of mine. But my parents like have been so supportive of this journey. Like ever since I was a kid, I've always said I've wanted to do it. Yeah, so they've never been pushy parents. I've seen that. And I've seen parents, be pushy parents in athletics and stuff like that and whatever, but they're just happy if I'm happy. That's it, really. Yeah.
That's cool. So take me into the mental shift then when you were kind of coming out of the injury and you were saying, okay, I need to change. I don't like this version of me. She's unhappy. What were your first steps to getting back to Desi?
Yeah, so basically it was like, all right, coach, like, what am I doing? And it was sort of a sit down and he was like, I was ready for you to like change your mind.
Finally.
Yeah, he's like, I was waiting here and now I'm ready. Yeah, he's like, finally, like you've come to your senses. So yeah, it was very hard. And I think like because I've been through so many injuries, it's so hard starting again. And I feel like that's the hardest thing for people is to start something or to start the gym or to go and do something because it is so hard to start at the start. It is so hard to make it a habit. But once you're doing it, and you're enjoying it, it's the easiest thing ever because you're enjoying it. And that's my biggest thing is I knew that I was unhappy not doing it. And then I had to be happy. So I started doing the thing that made me happy, which was sport and training and competing. So getting up, getting into habits again, going to training every single day and even just slowly putting it back, implementing it back into my life because it wasn't going to come back just like that. Like patience is one of the biggest things I've learned in life with sport and with injuries and with everything. Like patience is honestly the biggest thing. It doesn't come straight away. It takes a long time. And even through injuries, like I'll get to there and then I'll get injured again and I'm back to square one. But that doesn't mean that that all that progress is lost. I look at injuries now because of that as a massive learning curve and another step forward because when I get injured, I feel like I learn so much more. Like I get to start back. I get to start back from ground one. I don't go back to ground one. I get to start back from ground one. I get to learn all those things again. I get to learn the basics. I get to build my body up from ground one. Like there's so much that is involved with injuries and stuff. And there's so much that you can learn from it. And like I wouldn't take any of it back, to be honest. Like I think that it's definitely shaped the person I am today. It's made me more motivated and more hungry for what I want and dedicated to what I want too.
Yeah, I think it's really important that reframing, just as you said, I get to go back and learn from scratch. I get to change movement patterns. It's so common for people to just be like, oh my God, like I've lost everything. It's like, no, you can literally start from scratch now. And I think that reframing is really important and seeing it as a lesson and an opportunity to pivot. And, if you've got injured in the first place, it probably meant something was wrong.
Yeah.
So you can go back and fix it.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes it means that you need a break, to be honest. Like we put so much into it and it's like, okay, your body does need a break. It's breaking. So you need to go back to like ground one. You need to fix the basics and you need to build yourself back up. And it was exactly like with my back, like when I fractured my back, it was like, okay, what am I doing wrong? I was doing everything wrong. My core control was wrong. Like everything wasn't supporting like my back. So I had to go back down. I had to work with a Pilates instructor, things that I'd never done before. And then that's when I started to learn more about my core and building my core strength up, which then helped me in the gym. And I was able to lift more in the gym. And then I was able to run better on the track. Like it was just things like that I had never done at the start that I was able to do. And now I take that as a learning thing and I'm able to teach other people as well about that. So, yeah.
It's amazing to see. And even just having that reframe in the back of your mind, in the moment, obviously it's not going to be as easy. Yeah. It's not going to be as easy to be like, okay, this is a lesson. Yeah. And you're like, what the fuck? Like, come on. But it's over time that becomes a little bit easier to reframe. Yeah. And I'm sure that now when you do have something that comes up now, it's easier and quicker for you to say, okay, what am I going to learn from this? How is this going to help me in the future?
Yeah, exactly. It's never a highlight reel. Like I think, especially doing social media and stuff, I think a lot of people think that like our lives are highlight reels and stuff like that, which it definitely isn't. Like I struggle with it. And when I get injured, like I definitely struggle with it. And it's not easy at all. It's the hardest thing in the world to be able to get back up and keep going and to get through it. And I think the biggest thing is having like a big support network around you as well. I've learned that having the right people around you massively helps. I think doing it alone can be so hard. You need people pushing you to push yourself. And yeah, like I think that's like such a big thing. Yeah.
How did you reframe your identity then when you got back into sport? Did you feel like you went straight back to being all in, or did you then try to have a little bit more balance?
I tried to have a little bit more balance, I think. It was hard at the start and it took years. Like I wanted to just go straight back in and you really can't just do that. I tried to have balance, but I've only just realized now, and it's been years after that, that sport isn't my identity. And I have lived with sport being my identity from since I was a little kid. Like I thought that all I meant was like, was sport. So, and I actually sat down with a sports psychologist, and this is when I realized that sport wasn't just my identity. And he asked me, he said like, sport's not your identity, Desi. Like it's okay to have a break and it's okay to want to do other things and it's okay if it doesn't work out. And I've only just realized that in the past year. And like, I obviously want to make the Olympics and I obviously want to do these great things in sport and I want to show people that I can do that. And I want to show myself especially that, I'm capable of that. But sport and what you're doing can't be your identity. Like there's more to life than just sport. And I think since realizing that, I've become a lot more happy in what I'm doing. I've enjoyed it a lot more. I haven't put as much pressure on myself. I know as a kid, I put so much pressure on myself and growing up and stuff. And I think that's why I found it hard to like come back after injuries and stuff like that, because I was scared. I was scared of what people were thinking about me. I was scared if I wasn't able to perform on the track or everything like that. So yeah. And then as soon as I've realized that, it's okay and it's okay to just enjoy the process. I think the biggest thing is enjoying the process. And I tell that to everyone. I was like, if you don't enjoy it, like, why are you doing it? It's with work, it's with life, it's with friends, it's with sport, it's with anything that you're doing. If you don't enjoy it, like, why are you doing it? Like, there's no point.
Yeah. What was your breaking point where you decided, okay, I'm going to go speak to a sports psychologist? Was it just a build-up of pressure?
It was more so when I started like training at QAS. So that's the Queensland Academy of Sport. Pushed me to do it basically because I was like in and out of injuries and they were like, okay, Desi, like maybe you should go see a sports psych. And obviously at first, like hearing the word psychologist was like I don't need to see a sports psychologist. I don't need to see a psychologist. Like I'm fine. Like, yeah, I think there's a massive stigma around it. Definitely. I feel like people don't do it because of that. And when I did it, honestly, it was great to just sit down and chat about life. Like there was no pressure. It was just talking about everything. It was good to get it off my mind. So I think I needed that little push from people. I don't regret it. It was, yeah, honestly great. It opened up my mind to a lot of things. He asked me questions about everything and I was just like, oh, actually, you're okay.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. I think like young kids that have grown up in sports, you have quite a tough mind. You're quite resilient. You're quite like, you can be quite closed off to say, I'm just going to work. And I sort of grew up in the same way. And then I saw a sports psychologist for the exact same reason of like, I went and I was like, oh, I'm pretty good. And then I started to realize, oh shit, bodybuilding is my whole identity. I have nothing outside of it and I have no self-worth outside of it. I was tying all of my self-worth to my achievements. And then, it was the same when I wanted to take a little bit of a break. I was like, nobody's going to care about me. I'm just going to be a nobody. Yeah. And then, of course, you start to realize, oh, there's literally so much more.
Yeah. Yeah.
So take me into the pivot then from track and field into what you're doing now.
Yeah.
Obviously, massive change. Was it scary? What was those emotions?
Yeah. So absolutely crazy. I don't think I ever expected to do the sport, bobsleigh. I didn't even know what it was until I did it really. Like obviously everyone's like, oh, cool runnings when you first do it. And I'm like, yeah, that's it. Like, and now that people say, I'm like, yes, cool runnings. Yeah. Not exactly, but it is. Like I was doing athletics still at the time. But I think it was my second surgery on my foot and it was one of my pretty major surgeries on my foot. So I was out for a bit, and I actually had tried to do rugby sevens before that surgery. So that was sort of my backup plan. So this wasn't even my backup plan.
Not even like rugby's not like injury prone or anything.
Nah. So I really tried, and then my foot was like, no, you're not doing that. So yeah, I was doing rugby sevens. I had surgery, and then I had sort of been asked that year and the year before to do the sport. And the only way you get into these sports really is being poached. And they take a lot of athletics, sprinters and rugby players. So I was sort of the perfect little athlete, not little, but like I was the perfect power speed athlete for this sport because that's what they look for. And yeah, basically I got asked to do it, and it was after my surgery. And they told me to come over to France. My pilot at the moment, she said, just come over. We don't care if your foot's not great. Like, just hop in the sled, go down, and see if you like it or not. Because the only way you know is, if you've done it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was like, oh, okay, 2 weeks before, booked my flights. It was my first time going to Europe, like traveling solo as well. So it was massive. It was very scary in that aspect as well. But everyone was like, just do it. Like, why not? And I was like, okay, like I didn't really see anything coming out of it really, but I was like, oh, I'm just going to try it anyway.
Go for a trip to France.
Yeah, just go to France. Yeah. Anyway, so I did it, and I had the lowest, like I did not expect it to be what it was. And I don't think anyone would. Like, even if you jumped in, you just would not know. Me being in denial, I was like so fine. I was like, yeah, I'm so chill. Like, I'm just going to jump in this thing that goes like 140 kilometers an hour and like goes around like corners at G-force and stuff. Like, I'm fine. Like, I didn't even think about any of it. The only thing I thought about was like, how do you brake at the end? Yeah. And like my name, like my position in the sport is a brake woman. So I brake the sled at the end. So I stop the thing. So that's the only thing I was concerned about, which is a big concern because it's a big moment. If you don't brake, you don't stop. But yeah, I was so chill, and all these Olympic athletes were like, so Desi, are you like scared? And I was like, no, like.
Should I be?
Should I? Yeah, I was like, like, shut up. Like, I'm not scared. Like, anyway, I've jumped in this thing, and honestly, it was the scariest thing I've ever done in my life. And honestly, it still is the scariest thing I will ever do in my life. But after a few attempts, it was the funnest thing ever. The first 2 runs were like the scariest thing ever. Like, I did not expect it. And it hurt so much. Yeah.
So interesting. I have so many random little questions about that. I'm like, okay, so first of all, when you first went in, did you just sit in? Did somebody else push you? Like, what was going on there?
Yeah. So when you first do it, you don't like run. Like, they just get you to sit in it and then they like push you. I actually jogged it and jumped in, and it was very slow. So at the start, it was like, oh, this is so boring. Like the first few corners, like sort of up into the first corner, I was like, oh yeah, like this is really slow. Like, it's not building up speed. And I was sitting there. And because we've got like our head between our knees, and all we can see is the bottom of the bobsled. So we see nothing. So the whole run, like we're literally just tucked in, like trying to hold ourselves into the sled, and we see nothing. So we don't know what to expect.
Right.
And especially if it's your first time going down, how hard do I hold on? Like, what do I do? When is the corner coming up? You just have no clue. And I was like, oh yeah, like, holding myself in, like this is so slow. And then I hit another corner and I've gone, oh my God, like the wind has absolutely taken it out of me. Like, I can't breathe, like what's going on? And then like I'm holding for dear life. And so like I'm so tired by the end of this thing because I'm holding so tight, because the only thing holding me in the sled is my hands and me tucked into the sled. I can't breathe. Like every corner you hit, like you just get knocked out. Like, and it's actually crazy. Like you have to have insane core control. By like time, you learn the tracks and you're able to learn how to breathe through the corners and stuff like that. But at the start, honestly, it was quite funny. Like by the end of it, I was like sick. Like everyone was like, are you okay? Like how was that? And I was like, honestly speechless. Like I felt sick. I was like, I don't know if I can do this again.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. Okay, so
Yeah.
then where do we go from there? Obviously, it was an experience. What was the next steps you decided that this is, okay, I'm going to go for it?
Yeah. So I sort of heard the potential that, it could make the Olympics for it. And if I tried, stuck with it and stuff, like there was a potential with that. And obviously that's always something in the back of my mind. Like that's a massive goal of mine. And obviously enjoying it. So I definitely enjoyed that week where I first pushed and stuff. So I then went on to the next season, and the seasons run over the winter time in Europe and America. So I went over to Europe for the end of that year, and I competed with Sarah, who's my pilot. So basically just went over there, committed to that. It's really hard too because you've got to commit to a long time overseas. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of time away from your friends and your family and your partner. It's very, very hard. And that's one of my biggest things. It makes me very homesick, but they sort of say you have to be over there around October through to February, March, which is a long time away from home.
Yeah.
So that's one of the biggest things that's like just scary to me with the sport and always has been. But when I first did it, I actually had half a season. So I went from December or January through to like March and competed and stuff. And our role there was to try and make world champs and to qualify for that. So I ended up making my first world champs on my first season, which was insane, which was incredible. And we came 21st, which was really cool. So it was a cool season.
That's
Yeah.
very cool. And I guess that reinforces made the right decision. Did you have any self-doubt or, again, like an identity shift in like, oh no, but I'm a track and field girl now going into a completely different or new sport?
Definitely. Yeah. I think I've always like known myself as like a track and field athlete, a sprinter, and still to this day, like I call myself a sprinter and stuff like that because obviously that was my identity and I still believe it is and it still can be. But yeah, like it definitely was very hard to shift myself from going, okay, no, I'm doing this sport now. I've got to focus on this. Because I think at the start, like the first season I was still like, okay, like I'm trying it out, like I'm going to do it, but like I'm going to go back to sprinting. Like, but I think throughout the season, obviously building through, doing competitions and enjoying being able to represent my country was just like incredible. And I think that's something that I would never take back. And I was like, oh, this is like so amazing to be able to do. And especially doing a sport that no one else has really ever done, like being able to be like a girl in this crazy sport in Australia, like it's just insane. And being able to represent our country at World Champs was just really cool. So I think that's when like my mindset and everything changed to sport. And I was like, okay, no, this is it. Like I really want to commit to this like over the next, yeah.
And I guess just as we were speaking about before, like that identity thing of like you are not just your sport. So you can be a sprinter and a bobsleigh. You can be it all because you're not just that one thing, right?
Yeah.
You're not just a sprinter and you're not just something else. So you can just do it all, which is nice.
Exactly. Yeah.
So then when you were over and you were taking this time off, what was your thought process in how you were staying committed, motivated, excited about this when you were feeling homesick?
It was hard, but I think like staying busy and everything in it makes it a lot easier. Like you're constantly doing things, and I think the motivation of like building to the next competition and I think the end goal is such a big drive, and I have that in everything I do. Like I feel like if I don't have a goal that I'm reaching to, like it's going to be so hard for me to get there. That's with everything. Like if I'm dieting and stuff, like what am I doing it for? Like I always have to have that end goal. And I think that's why I've always been driven to doing sport and to competing because that's what really pushes me to do those things. I feel like if you don't have like a goal, it's the hardest thing ever. Like it's just like it's like brushing your teeth. Like I want white teeth. Like I need to brush my teeth every day to get white teeth, right?
Yes.
So I want to make the Olympics. I'm going to train every day. I'm going to eat good every day, and I'm going to consistently do my rehab every day so I can get to that end goal, right? So it's just about, staying consistent, being patient and having that end goal. And that's what really stuck me there. Like when I was overseas, it was like, okay, we might make world champs. This would be my first world champs ever. This is crazy. This is so cool. Like, I can put my life on hold to try and get there for these next few months. Like, it was hard. It was definitely hard. It was a lot of phone calls home, and sometimes you have to have space from, the other teammates and stuff like that. But just trying to make the whole thing enjoyable over there is the main thing too. Yeah.
Just having a greater purpose and reminding yourself, like, it's so cliche, right? Like, remember your why. But if you have a reason for doing something, it makes it so easy. I'm sure anybody will ask you, like, how do you stay consistent? How do you stay motivated? How do you stay disciplined? Have your goal and your purpose so clear, it doesn't matter. Nothing else matters.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. It's like, you enjoy it then. Like, you enjoy the hard things when you have that goal and you have to stay consistent and stuff like that. Like, yeah.
If you're someone who's trying to live a healthier lifestyle, stick to a calorie deficit, or just hit your macros without eating the same boring chicken and rice every day, I've got something for you. Heidi Gilly, who's not only an accredited sports nutritionist, but also a competitive bodybuilder and a former jockey, has created 2 incredible recipe ebooks. Inside, she's packed over 50 recipes that are high in volume, full of variety, and already have the macros worked out for you. These recipes are designed to keep you full, fuel your training, and satisfy those late night cravings that we all have. The recipes follow the 80-20 method. That means you can enjoy your sweet treats and your whole foods. So if you want to take the stress out of meal prep and actually enjoy what you're eating while staying on track, you can head over to the Jacked Jockey on Instagram for more information and to grab your copies. Thank you so much for sponsoring this episode. Now let's get back to the incredible Desi Johnson. Do you journal? Do you visualize? Is there anything you do that does keep that purpose kind of really in the forefront of your mind?
I do journal, like, sometimes when I'm at training and stuff, definitely. I journal, like, I guess when I'm training and everything, I'll be writing down things that I need to improve on and stuff like that. And then I will be, like, saying, okay, this is the goal. How am I going to get there? I definitely visualize things, but I am honestly the biggest overthinker too in the world. And I think I've learnt that through my sport. Like, you cannot tell me too much or I will overthink it and I will crash. Like, it's it's crazy. Like, so I've learnt that in athletics. My coach has learnt that. Like, he used to give me like a million techniques with like my long jump, say, and I'd be like, oh, and I'd just foul and I'd foul. And then he'd be like, okay, does he just run and jump? And I'd run and jump. And he's like, and then I'd get this PB and win. And he's like, what the hell? And I'm like, yeah, but it's just about like all the training behind you and being able to believe that that's all going to come into fruition. Like, that the work that you've done is going to pay off and you need to just trust the process. One of my other biggest things is just trusting the process. And I've learned that over the last few years is that I've just got to trust it. I've got to let it be. And like, I've done all the work I can. I've been training all year for this. Don't put pressure on yourself on the day. Have fun, enjoy it. It was like the other week I went over to Europe and we did like a pre-testing thing for pushing. And I was so nervous. Like, I was so nervous. But honestly, like, I think it was the first time I've ever turned those nerves into just like energy and having fun and just like enjoying the day. And I just like pumped the music up. I was having fun. I was just like enjoying the day and ended up pushing really well because I was just enjoying the process. And I was like, it's okay if I don't perform well. It's okay if I do perform well. Like, I know that I've put the work in and it will pay off eventually.
So is that how you deal with the nerves, kind of trying to at least turn nervous energy into excited energy?
Yeah. I think like when I was like doing athletics and stuff, I used to turn nerves. It's very hard like to turn nerves sometimes into like good energy. Sometimes you do turn it into bad energy. And I've done that a lot in the past. Like, I have been so nervous and then just switched from like, oh my gosh, pressure, like, can I do this? I don't know. Like putting it into just that bad mindset. And that's what's going to break you in a race or in a competition or anything that you're doing, even work. Like, I have then recently tried to turn those nerves into just having fun, and I'll get so nervous and then I'm like, all right, let's do this. Like, let's have fun. Like, and it's that sort of mindset of it's okay. Like, it's okay if I don't do well, but I'm not going to think about that. Like, it's okay if I do well. I was like, but being confident that you are going to do well is trusting the process. Yeah.
Absolutely. I tell my posing clients that all the time. Like, you can look at your nerves as one or two ways. Like it's just how you perceive it. You can look at it as like, oh my God, this is so stressful. There's so much pressure. Like what?
Yeah.
I don't know. I have to perform. Or it can be like, gosh, I'm really excited. I'm nervous. This is important to
Yeah.
me. Like, but I also don't really care. And I guess it does come down to like the language that you use in your head.
Oh, massively, massively. Like the biggest thing is being positive to yourself. Like, do not beat yourself up. I used to do that all the time. I'd beat myself up, or I'd be the biggest critic on myself. Like, I'm not doing this right. I'm not doing that right. Like, I haven't done this. And, oh, Desi, you're not going to perform well in that. Like, is your technique right? Like, everything. But now it's like, no, I am doing it right. I'm doing well. I'm going to perform good. And honestly, you're going to manifest it to be real. Like, it's going to happen if you keep talking to yourself positively.
Where do you think that shift happened? Was it just a gradual thing over time of taking that critic away?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's kind of been the past couple of years. It's been a long time. Like, well, I'm only 24, but yeah, I think learning all that stuff, being a massive critic to myself and like putting a lot of pressure on myself as an athlete and doing sprinting and stuff, everyone sort of put a lot of pressure on me because as a young sprinter, I was pretty good. So when I would come back from injuries, it's like, oh, Desi's back. Oh, is she going to perform well? This and that. So I'd put a lot of pressure on myself and just fumble. And I guess it's just learning, honestly. Like I've learned a lot through that and trying different things. And then eventually, once I've done this, like since I've done this sport, it was sort of like, okay, I'm going to try this out. And that's a good thing. And my mindset sort of changed. And that's when I started talking more positively to myself. And I started going, no, let's just enjoy the process and have fun because it's okay. And I think a big thing was realizing that my identity wasn't just sport.
Yeah.
There was more to life than just sport. And I think that's when my mindset was like, it's okay. Like I can do this and I'm going to trust the process and everything's going to work out.
It's so interesting with like child prodigies. Like there's
Yeah.
so much pressure on young kids
Yeah.
from external forces. And of course, then they internalize that pressure.
Yeah.
Like coaches being like, because I don't know, coaches when we were kids were so harsh. I don't
Oh my gosh.
It's crazy.
It's
I
crazy.
think like, wow, the way that some coaches used to speak to us and the people I used to run with, a couple are now running in like world champs and Olympics. And I think, oh my God, the pressure that they were put under at 12, at 13 is wild. And so
Yeah.
like, of course you're going to be your own, like your worst critic when you also have many other harsh critics.
Oh, yeah, massively. Like coaches are such a big thing. Like coaches are like make and break like young athletes. Like, yeah, athletes push through it and they do end up making world champs and stuff like that. Like even I've experienced jumping from coach to coach and the things that I've experienced, especially in athletics, is crazy. I like weight has always been a massive thing for me. I had like coaches tell me that I had to lose weight like all the time. I had this one coach that wouldn't let it down, never programmed me, never told me, spoke to me in any other way except for how much do you weigh? Like you need to go on a diet, you need to do this. It was always about my weight. So that's all I had in my head. And as a young like girl, it was like, oh my gosh, so I'm fat. Even though they just wanted to slim me down and so I could run faster and stuff like that. But I was like, oh, I'm fat, I need to lose weight. And then I was okay, well, I want to do this. And my mindset was just like driven on just weight and not the sport. And like that destroyed me, honestly. Like I went into not eating good. I wasn't eating at all. Like I got really skinny too. And then I ended up, the first time I got validation from my coach was when he was like, oh yeah, have you eaten today? Because I looked like I hadn't. But honestly, that really, really broke me, like being told that every single day and the pressure of that and stuff. Like that mentally was another thing that I experienced that honestly, I look back at that and it's pretty sad. I didn't like that. I ended up getting the balls to like move on from that coach and move to the next and then sort of experience the same sort of thing and saw other athletes experience it where he would go up to them, grab their arms and go, you need to lose 2 kilos there, pinch their leg, you need to lose 3 kilos there. And it was like, what's going on? Like, this is insane.
How did you feel about yourself in those times? just unhappy?
Very, yeah. It was the first time, another time where I found myself in a very unhappy space and I was not enjoying the sport and I was not enjoying sprinting. I was just constantly thinking about food and constantly thinking about my weight. And yeah, I was not eating at all. It was pretty sad. Like I wasn't the happy person I was at all. And everyone around me could see that as well. And I ended up getting injured from it too. So it was just a terrible sort of time as well.
What do you think that younger version of Desi needed to hear? Like, was it more, did you need to hear that you were okay as you were, or that like education around the food?
I think it was more so I needed to stand up for myself. And I think obviously the coach wasn't for me. He didn't communicate properly with me, especially as a young athlete. So I think I look back at the person when I stood up and I said, no, this is not on. Like, I'm leaving. Like, I'm proud. I'm proud of myself. I learned a lot from like that experience as well. I learned to be strong as well. Like, I became very strong from that. I moved on to the next coach. I thought that it was happening again, so I moved on again. It's something that I guess a lot of coaches don't realize they're doing sometimes. I think they think that they're doing the right thing, but yeah, it definitely destroys a lot of young kids. But yeah, I think my mindset definitely, like, I struggled through it, but I definitely became stronger. Yeah.
And now I see you as someone who's very proud of the way you look, the way, how strong you are. You are so tall, so muscly, and I think that's freaking amazing.
Yeah.
When did you start to then become into that empowered state?
Yeah, so I honestly have struggled with like the person and the body I'm in, like since I was a little kid. I've had people like shaming me for being too muscly as a little girl, like too tall, too big, since I was young. And I like through school, I'd have guys who would tell me that like, oh, your parents like have you on roids or whatever, like, and bullying me for that. And then through school and stuff. So I was always sort of a shell until I started social media. During COVID, I first started like posting on TikTok and stuff. And then I started getting like validation from people saying like, oh, wow, like, you know, you look great, this and that, all of that. And I was like, oh, really? Like, like this is cool. But then obviously you get like half of it is hate as well. And then I started hearing that stuff from men again. And it's always just men bringing you down, saying that you're too muscly, like everything like that. So you look like a boy. Like that's a big thing that I've just gone, oh, like that used to destroy me. But it honestly has made me and built me up to be stronger and like want to post more, want to show them that, you know, I am muscly. I'm like a girl that is muscly, and I want to show other women that it's okay because it is beautiful and it's strong, and that we can do so many amazing things with our body. And the fact that I'm able to compete and do things and everything and show people that is just so massive to me. Being able to see like the positive comments and being able to see like the people around me, I think has really stuck me by like the posting and everything. Like especially like women and people, even men, like messaging me and stuff saying like, you've inspired me and you've helped me and you've motivated me to do and to keep going and to stick at the gym and stuff. It's just been so massive for me. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just so hard as a young person going through sport, identity, everything, and then having external people telling you about your weight. It's so tricky. That's just a hard thing to handle.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, you see it, and when you start doing it, like when they're doing that and stuff, you look at food and it's like, and you would do it with bodybuilding, like obviously because you have to like macro diet and stuff. But you look at food and it's like, oh, that's got that many calories in it. That's got like, it's just constantly going all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gosh, I mean, speaking to all the people I've spoken to on this podcast, my clients, my experience, it seems very universal. And it's so important for people to start to be able to separate their performance and their body with their self-worth and their identity. And I think we just become, as young people, we build our identities so like they're so strict
Yeah.
on like who we are, what we look like, the praise that we get, the validation that we get, and that just becomes us. And it's only when we start to kind of like just break it a little bit and we
Yeah.
start to realize. Take me into your process now with rebuilding your identity. What does balance look like? What does Desi as a whole look like now?
Yeah, so there's a lot of things that obviously I have to balance in life, and that's, my sport, my injuries, my social life, my partner, my family, and then like just everything around that and what I actually want to do and explore in life and stuff too. I think it's about trying to balance a good routine and everything, and socialize a lot more and do those things, and just enjoy what I'm doing is such a big thing. Being able to make time for my partner and for my friends is just so big as well, because I feel like when you do get stuck down in sport, you sort of push a lot of people away. And a lot of people say it to me like, you're always busy, like we never catch up. And it's like, oh, I am. Like, so it's trying to support that as well. It is very hard, especially trying to compete at such a high standard and stuff, especially now that I'm trying to reach this goal of trying to make the Olympics, it's very, very hard, and especially because I'm going to be away for so long. But yeah, I think it's making those small sacrifices now, and knowing that next year, like I'm going to be able to do those things. I'm going to go on a trip with my partner and this and that, being able to plan those things as well to give myself sort of that validation that, okay, it's okay. Like I'm going to have fun after that. And I'm going to have fun now. Yeah.
You go through phases.
Yeah.
Same with bodybuilding. Like I'm in a comp prep right now. I obviously can't eat out, and that's just for a phase. Like I'm going all in. I enjoy this moment. I know it's not going to be forever, and then you can shift.
Yeah.
And it would be the same for you. You've got this epic season coming up, and it's going to be hard work. You're going to be dedicated, but you also are not going to be in that season forever.
No, that's right. And people go, Desi, this is your one shot. Like, this is your shot to be able to do it. Take the opportunity. And that's what I just tell myself. I'm like, okay, I've got this one shot to do this right now. And like, it's one phase of my life. Like, that's right. Like, it's only a couple of months out of how much do we live? Like, I might as well do it, because if I get older and I go, oh, I didn't take that leave and I didn't do that, I didn't go overseas for that long and try and compete, like, I would regret that massively. Like, there's time next year to do the things that I want to do with my friends or with my partner or other sports or whatever. But right now is the time to try and, do what I want to do and make this dream sort of come true. So, yeah.
Being so close to the dream, how does it feel? How are you showing up every day?
Yeah, so I'm obviously trying to take the pressure off myself, and enjoying the process. Every day is completely different, but yeah, I just try and enjoy every single day. It's sort of very busy at the moment, so it's still trying to stay stress-free, because at the end of the month I'm going to be leaving for, till February hopefully. And yeah, it's just about doing those little things, making everything count. There's a lot that I have to do as well, like to get there, like rehab-wise, and just trying to keep my body well before I go, is such a massive thing as well. So just doing the little 1%ers every single day counts. Yeah.
What's your mindset like with the thought of the lingering injuries coming up?
So there's always in the back of my mind is always like, okay, like what if I get injured, or is this like, how's my foot going, like this and that, like it's always going to be there. I've definitely changed that, like, and only like for this season, I've changed that mindset to be like, it's okay, like it's going to work out. And I've tried to change my mindset, just being positive about it. It's never a good day really. Like there's always going to be something wrong, like with my foot or whatever, like I'm going to be in pain and stuff. It's just about managing that. And at the moment it's getting that team around me to help manage that. But yeah, just trying to push through it and stuff until the end of the season. I kind of give myself a little countdown. It's okay. So I've got till February. Like I can hold off until then. Like if I do get injured, that's life. And I can't beat myself up about that. Like things like that happen. It could happen. It could happen right before the Olympics. It could happen a month before. It could happen tomorrow. But I can't beat myself up about that. I had someone tell me the other day, like, I make the Olympics. Like, if I don't make the Olympics, it's okay. And I was like, yeah, I've got to keep that in the back of my mind that it's okay if I don't make it. It's okay.
I really do like that mindset because I think we grow up being so engulfed in this one dream.
Yeah.
And that's, you need to. I try and talk about that on my podcast a lot of, yes, give yourself balance, give yourself grace, be kind to yourself, but chase big goals. Like don't play small. Go and dedicate yourself to this. Go and be all in because we do only have one life and we want to live it, but we also want to do freaking good things.
Yeah.
Like I want to see you go to the Olympics. Like that would be amazing. But I really like what you're saying about enjoying it and knowing that it is okay if you don't, but also knowing that like go all in, go and chase that.
Yeah. Don't be scared. I think that's the biggest thing with a lot of people. Like they're too scared to do it and take that leap and take that shot. And they're scared they're going to get injured. They're scared they're not going to make it. They're scared they're going to be an embarrassment. And it's like, who cares? Like you've got one life. Go and chase that big dream. Like do whatever you want in this life because you've only got one shot. And I'm going to do that because I know that that's what's going to make me happy even if I don't make it. But I'm going to try my bloody hardest to get there. Like I will. And I'm going to show everybody that I'm going to try my bloody hardest to get there. But I just feel like people just get too scared and don't do it. And it's sad because it's like, come on, like, take that shot, do it. Like, yeah.
What would you tell somebody that doesn't really have any self-belief or doesn't have the discipline yet? Like they're just not sure what to do or where to start.
I just feel like people get too scared to obviously start the process at the start. And I would tell them that it's going to be so hard. It's going to be hard at the start. It's going to be hard during, but you need to obviously enjoy the process, be patient, trust the process, okay, and create the habits. Like at the start, habits are going to be so hard to make, and they are. Like it's struggle to get into the gym and go to the gym every single day. But once you're doing it, it's like, okay, I'm going to the gym now, like, and you're just doing it consistently. But yeah, I just want people to enjoy the process is such a big thing to me. Be happy in what you're doing and choose something that makes you happy.
Yeah. I think like people think that they have to be good at something to enjoy it, but I think actually it's the opposite way around. Like if you enjoy it, you actually get really good at it.
Yeah.
Because you want to commit yourself, you want to do the training, you want to learn, and that's, I think we have it so flipped that if I can only enjoy it if I'm good. And so people don't really put themselves in an opportunity. You were not good at bobsleighing when you started, I'm sure. Well, you might have been, but
No.
it's a process of when I enjoy it and when I commit, then I see the results. Then I actually want to work harder.
Exactly.
Like action gives you motivation, not the other way around, I think.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
I experienced that when I started the podcast as well. Like my first episode is called Just Do It, like just start.
Yeah.
Because when you start the habit, when you start to learn about the things, you then start to get excited about it for sure.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Was there moments when you first started the bobsleighing where you were like, oh no, this is not for me?
Definitely. Well, yeah. When I first went down, it was like
fuck this, I'm out of here.
I'm out of here. Yeah, I was like, what am I doing? I need to go home. Like, yeah, of course. Like, I was like, if I don't give this a shot, if I don't give this 2 shots, 3 shots, like I did my first run and I was like, yeah, hell no. Like, what am I doing? Pretending that I liked it. I was like, yeah, this is great. Meanwhile, I feel sick. They're like, okay, go again. Did it again. I was like, oh, God, I don't know. Like, it still isn't there. I did it again. And then I was like, oh, actually, like maybe I do like this. And then I did it again. And I was like, okay, this is kind of cool. It's about just trying, like putting your foot forward, like trying over and over and over again until you go, okay, actually, like I like this. I'm enjoying this. This is good. Like I'm seeing progression out of this. It's so hard to start something at the start. It's so hard. It's scary. It's hard. It's difficult. But once you do it and you implement those habits or you implement that into your life, like it starts becoming fun. It starts becoming enjoyable. And that's exactly like what it was like for me with bobsleigh. Like I definitely didn't think that I was going to do it. I was sort of in that mindset of like, I'm just going to try it out and then like go home. But I was like, oh, now I kind of like it. And now I want to go back and do it again. And it gives you that little drive to do it.
I think the fact that you had really low expectations on it has made your whole experience really enjoyable, therefore has made it quite successful because you have had probably not as much pressure on yourself because you've always thought in the back of your mind, well, if this doesn't work out, I can always go back to track or whatever it is. And less pressure equals less resistance, which equals more results. You've probably achieved greater results than you've ever achieved before because of that. And that's really important for anyone listening. Like, take the pressure off and actually maybe go in with some less expectations.
Yeah.
You'll probably find that you'll have much greater results than you ever experience.
Oh, definitely. I think one of the biggest things for me to learn is to adapt because I was so stuck in being like a track athlete and a sprinter or whatever. And then being able to go, okay, maybe I'll try rugby sevens. I know that I still like track running. Maybe I'll try bobsleigh. I know I still like track running. Being able to adapt into those different things and knowing that it's okay to adapt and that you will adapt in life because like how do we become a better person is by adapting. How do we become that person is by adapting. Like how do we progress? We adapt. And that's honestly the biggest thing that I've learned is being able to adapt to different sports or situations, if it's injuries or if it is changing sports or whatever, like it's okay to adapt and like letting it happen and trusting that.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I love that because adaptability is one of my kind of key like principles in why I think who can be a good bodybuilder.
Yeah.
Because you have to take on feedback, you have to take on the criticism, and you have to adapt the way you train. You know, when you have an injury, are you going to adapt to a new way of training and get better and evolve past that injury? Or is that injury going to be just there forever because you're not willing to try a new style of training or a new style of diet? It's really, I really like that because that's a key principle of mine, I think. I love it.
Yeah, definitely.
What's a few core values of yours that you makes your identity up now? Adaptability, consistency.
Yeah, a big one is being enjoying the process, adaptability, consistency, patience, all of it. It's honestly what makes it, but you've just got to enjoy it. I think it's like one of my biggest things.
No, I love that. I love that. And you've got to enjoy life. You've got to enjoy everything that you do. I really see that in your social media. I see that in just you as a whole. You've got that that presence that is I'm here, I'm present, I'm enjoying what I'm doing.
Yeah.
It's really clear to see who isn't enjoying something and who is.
Definitely.
I'll keep relating it back to bodybuilding because that's my thing. But like I see that in people who compete. If people have had a really shitty prep, they've complained, they've really just like been grueling, like it's just not been a fun time for them. You can see on stage, you can see it in their body and in their body language. They're not having a good time. And you can see the ones that have had a good time. They've really just enjoyed the process. They're the ones that just look better. They feel better. Yeah, you can see like how they feel in their body.
Yeah.
And it's the same with you. You could see it in your performance. You can see it in your results, in your progress, if you're surrendering to just having a good time.
That's exactly right. It's going to be so hard for you if you're not enjoying it to show up at training and stuff and to show up on the stage. Like it'd be so hard for them to get up there. And it's so hard for you to show up every day to training and take that feedback and stuff. You're not going to have any motivation to do it because you don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess like for people listening, if you haven't found that thing, go and try things until you do.
Honestly, biggest thing. Like if you haven't found your thing, go and try them. Like try different things. Like even the thing that you have in the back of your mind that you never thought you would do or you don't want to do, even if it's bobsleigh, like come and try it out. Like things like that. Like do it because you just never know. You might hate it and that's okay. You might love it and that's great. Like, but you've got to try it to do it. Like.
And you are so young, like you've done so much in your 24 years. You might change, do something else, go and do something else. Like you can keep adapting and growing and evolving your whole entire life because your identity is not attached to that one thing.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's great to have goals and it's great to say that, I'm going to be a 100-meter sprinter when I'm older. But that might not happen. It's great to have massive goals, but it's great to know that there's the opportunity to change and adapt to different things and to experience different things. I think this is the greatest gift. Like, I've been able to travel the world doing what I'm doing, and that's such a massive thing that I would never take back. Like, so there's just so much opportunity and trying different things and changing up and just chasing something.
Yeah, I love that. So what's next on the horizon for you? You said you're going away. You've got big trips. Run me through what's happening.
Yeah, so at the end of this week, I'll be going to Prague to do a push camp, which was a sort of last minute thing. But because it's such a big season coming up, I've really got to put in those 1%ers. So I've booked that, and then I'll be going back overseas on the 26th of September. And we will be staying over in Europe until hopefully the Olympics, if we are able to make it. So we're going to be competing all season just to try and make it. One of my biggest, I guess, things in the season is at the start of the season we have a push-off sort of thing to see who's the fastest pusher. So I've got to perform really well in October, which is nervous, but it's exciting. And then I'll stay over there, hopefully, if I do good, up until the Olympics, which would be amazing.
Epic.
Yeah.
And then life after the Olympics, life after this, where do you even think that far ahead?
You do, yeah.
What's on the horizon there for post, hopefully, Olympics?
I think that I'm definitely going to give myself a break. And that's one of the biggest things that a lot of people have told me. I've never actually had a break. And I've gone, yeah, I have. Like, I've been injured and I've had a break. They're like, no, that's not a break.
Count.
That's not a break, Desi. I think it's actually sitting down, actually having a break. So I think I'm excited for that, to have a break after, just give myself some time, maybe go on a holiday. I haven't thought too deep into it. I would like to sprint. I think that would be really fun if I could do sprinting as well. I know I'm still there. I'm still in that identity, but I love it. And that's something that I want to do. So I think that that's something me and my coach have been talking about after the Olympics, hopefully. I'm going to try and do a few races. That would be cool. Or just train for it at least, because I know that it's what makes me happy. I love sprint training. So I'm definitely going to get stuck into that. Take care of my foot and get that all sorted after. I might buy a dog. Oh, I've always wanted a dog.
Love that.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
Well, I'm honestly so in awe of you. It's been really, really cool to get to know you a little bit more. The fact that you've had such success from such a young age, you've had the highs and the lows, you've pivoted and really made something awesome out of your career because you have committed to it. You've been resilient. You've had a really good mindset. And the fact that you've been able to adapt and evolve your mindset into this really positive, excited mindset, I think you're going to go very far in whatever you decide to do because of that. I really do, because I really think that that is the key to longevity in life, right? You have to enjoy what you're doing. And I really think that that's really epic that you've been able to come this far at 24 years old to come to that realization. The world is your oyster.
Thank you.
I really
means
do
the
think
world.
it.
Yeah.
I'm really excited. And, anybody who's listening, if you want to follow along, you can obviously follow Desi on Instagram and TikTok and follow that journey. I'm really excited to watch it all. Is there a way that people can follow, obviously just through your socials? Can people watch your comps, races?
Yeah, definitely. So I'll be posting like the links and stuff when I'm over there for like the comps and the races and everything. Obviously, it'll be on my stories and like posts. So follow along. I'll be keeping everyone up to date while I'm over there. So
Oh, epic. I will be glued to the screen. Callum is so intrigued with it. He's like, I need to know all the details. Is it exactly like Cool Runnings? I was like, I don't know, to be honest.
A little bit,
But very cool. So we'll be watching along, and hopefully everyone else is as well. But good luck for everything. I'm really excited to see, and I'm so grateful that you came on today to share a little bit of your mind. I think people are really going to get really good takeaways from this.
Thank you so much for having me on. Yes. It's been great. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much, guys. If you love this episode, please share it on your stories. Tag me and Desi. Go and follow Desi, and I'll talk to you all in the next episode. Bye.